Hey, it's MK, and I am here with a well-requested video going on. I'm sorry, I'm giggling because I didn't know how to start it. I'm used to saying I am back with whatever series I've got going on this month, and I didn't because this isn't a series. This is just basically a whole bunch of requests that says they want to see my albums. Now, I actually have a few videos out there. When I did my 2017 album, I actually printed all the photos, recorded extremely boring footage of me putting the photos within the page protectors. So basically what I was doing was sorting through my photos based off of what month they were taken. I don't really care which one comes first, but it's the month that they were taken. And then I turned around and sorted them within page protectors of what I had going on. So how many photos did I have here? Is it worth, you know, a whole 12 by 12, or can I just shrink it and have it as just a tiny, tiny little memory of something? And that's what my decision making is all about. It's, you know, is it a huge event that the kids were super excited about? Because if so, I want to give it a 12 by 12. If it was a meh kind of thing, or just something that I wanted to remember, because I don't take photos if it's not something I want to remember, basically. I know that that's kind of harsh to say, but it really is. You know, if I don't really think that it's something I want to scrapbook type thing, I don't take a photo. I want to enjoy it while it is, and that's it. So anyways, that was rude, in a microscopic kind of way. But I thought that I had all of these pages that needed to be put away. And so I thought that I would share really quickly of how I do this. So I have this tiny little pile, it's not very big, of pages that need to be put away. And when I do a whole month-long series or a multiple day series within a month, I write down what photos and what album I pulled them from, because sometimes the kids in the photos are so close in age, I can't tell if it's, excuse you, sorry, I can't tell if it's 2013, 2014, you know, 2015, somewhere in there, because they all kind of sort of look alike going on, and I can't really remember that sort of thing. And so I write it down. I wrote down what book they came from, whether it's book 1 or book 2, or if I have multiple, you know, like 3 or 4, because some of them do, and some of them are contained in just one album. But I write all that down, and then I kind of write a brief description, you know, like this is Cora getting her braces, or Cora's braces is basically, but it's page number 2. So it's either the picture of her getting them removed, or it's the picture of her after she got removed, which I think is number 2. Anyways, it's just an example, and so I write it down, and then I also have whether or not, you know, what size it is. So that also helps me find it in the book as well. And then I have what I wrote it for, like this one here is Stretch the Sketch. This was all for last month, so I have a few pages in here that are from last month, not very many, that needed to be put away. I didn't realize I didn't put them away. And then I have this one here where it's what I'm doing this month, but the pile's starting to get too big for my little area that I have designated for these, so it's time to put some away. So this is my October 2021, and I don't mind because you guys really probably can't read my horrific handwriting. Plus, it's been rubbed in ink because I use this as my mouse as my mouse pad, and so it goes like this, and it picks up the yuck from my desk, and so it's well loved and dirty and splotchy, and this is how they look. So most of these I have put away, but I do have, like this one here is on the roof, right here. But these two are actually from not this month, so let me go get where these guys were. Hang on. Sorry. Uh-oh. I don't have it, you guys. Okay. So I don't have it really quickly to grab, so I'm going to have to put these two away. But these guys were from August when I did the 31 days of cut files. So that's this one and this one. And then the rest of these I've already done, and they go in this particular album right here. And I've got them for the month of October. Okay, so these two I will have to put away and set off to the side. I believe these are 2015. just to say something, but I do need to find that list because I saved these. For some weird reason, I put them in my, what's it called? Catalog? No, calendar. I put them in my calendar so that way I can see how many layouts I did within that day based off of, you know, the hop that I was in, or I have this list and then including, you know, a couple lives that I did, or this over here or that over there. So I end up doing a lot more layouts than just 30 or 31 or 29 or how many ever are in a month, based off of, you know, my YouTube hops, my Facebook lives, blah, 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 all that stuff. So anyways, I thought that you guys would want to see me put these together. And sometimes what I have already done in this album, which this one is almost complete, but what I have done is sometimes I choose to do another layout, and so I will have to add some page protectors, but I think I'm all out. So a couple of these might not get to be put away because I'm out of page protectors, and I need to order some, which is silly of me. I love ordering close to my heart page protectors. However, I have not, I haven't done that yet. So anyways, I am going to flip through this whole album. Now this is book 1 of 2019, so I have not, I have 3 of these so far, and I wait till they get all full and chunky like this before I take out the last few pages and put them into book 2, and then book 2, as it gets chunky, I will take it out and move them into book 3. But I've already had to split this book up into 3 because the first thing that I usually always end up doing for an entire year is the Christmas ones, because it's like I have an opportunity to do Christmas, and so I either do all of them all at once. I'm totally caught up on Christmas photos, you guys. I'm dying for the next set of Christmas photos because I have nothing. Actually, no, I have 2020's Christmas photos to print because I haven't printed that yet, which is terrible of me because normally I have my year's photos printed by February and then in an album by March. So that's my routine. I gather up all the photos. I take photos with my DSLR, I take photos with my camera, and I take photos with my husband's camera, or my husband's phone, which he actually has 2. He's weird. He has a work phone that we usually take everywhere because it gets better service than all of our phones combined, which is another weird thing. But I have those 4 items that I gather up everything, and what I do is I make a list. And so I usually do a 4x6. Sometimes I have to do 2 4x6s, but these are just like prints that I know I'll never use, and they're white on the back, so I will cut them up to 4x6. I have a little stack of them right underneath my computer right here. And then I grab them, and then I go through my photos, and in January I'll look at all the photos and write it down. In March, I'll write it down. April, I'll write it down. Sometimes we've only got 1 thing I took a photo of. Some things we've got 5 things I took a photo of. So it just all depends on, you know, where all the photos are and whatnot. Sometimes I get a little ahead of myself, and I will only go through my phone and forget my husband's 2 phones. And so I'll have a list for that, and then I'll have a list for my husband's phone, and then I have to intermix between the 2 because his starts in January as well, and he took photos, and then this, you know, and it's just like mixed together, and so that gets a little confusing, but I still have a concept of, you know, in March we did this, in May we did this, and so on and so forth, going down the line. All right, so with that being said, 2019 we were very, very busy, but not busy enough to go past the, you know, the 4x6 mark. But we were very, very busy. And this helps me keep everything in order, but it's just a rough sketch of, you know, what is going to go where. And even though I wrote it down in order of, you know, where we went per photos, like this, we went to the History Museum first, and then we went to the planetarium. I might switch those 2 depending on the pocket pages. So like if at the end of the planetarium I use a pocket page, but I don't have enough to fill up the backside, then I will flip and have the History Museum start on a pocket page. So all of my planning is done in page protectors. Page protectors in this little piece of paper. Okay? So that is all of my planning, and then I start with a 25 pack of this type of page protector, which is just the large pocket 12 by 12. This is what I start with. And after I am done dividing up my photos into months and then what we did in those months, I'll take those photos and put them in a page protector. Okay, so flop them in there. And I just take the whole stack and dunk them in, and then I'll flip it over and dunk in the next stack. And then I'll flip it over and dunk in the next stack, okay? I don't care if it's this thick. That's how I do it, is I go through there. Then, if I have to stop, I am at a good stopping point. I have now sorted everything out by what we did each month, okay? That's where I stop. Then when I'm done with that, you know, I can stop, I can come back to it the next day. It's all contained in a page protector, right? And when I'm done, I can come back and I'll grab one stack and then I'll go through it. What pictures do I want to scrapbook? What pictures do I not want to? This is when I make the decision of whether or not I need to do a page protector. Or a pocket page protector, a small page protector. It's the decision-making time, and I make it right then and there. But again, I do a page at a time. So basically, one event is one pocket. So here I would 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 when I put down 25, okay? So we did 21 things in 2019, which I'm pretty sure, because this one only goes to July, and I've already printed from August on, so I'm pretty sure that we have way more than that, what happened in 2019, I think. I just don't know where my 6x6 piece of paper is, because, yeah, I've got way more. This only goes to the zoo. So this book here only goes to June. Yep, it only goes to June, and then the other ones are in the other 2 months. Anyways, so yes, I do one page at a time, but if I need to add more of these pages, I kind of sort of don't do that. I don't go past 25 until I absolutely have made all those decisions. Because as I go through, now I know that the very first page is going to be 12 by 12 because I love putting a cover page on. And this is going to be my cover page. It's going to have this globe on it somehow, and then it's going to have some sort of title across the globe, down here, up here, going around the globe somewhere. But this is going to be my title page, and I usually do that at the very end. Because then I get a mood and feel of the entire year, and that's what, you know, determines my cover page. But sometimes there's a photo, sometimes there's not. It just all depends on what's going on. If I have a really great family photo, then I'll use that as my 2019 cover page for my album, for my 2019 album. But it's only in one album. It's not in all 3 albums unless I have a gap. Like I said, I choose to add more photos or take photos away as I go along after the initial decision process. Nothing is set in stone. Absolutely nothing is set in stone when I create these albums, because I always am changing my mind or anything. They're just initial decisions, so I can sort out and plan my yearly album. And like I said, I start this in I print my photos in February, and I start doing this in March of the following year. So this is 2019. I was supposed to do this in 2020. Didn't happen, so this actually ended up getting done in March of 2021. That's why I haven't done 2020 yet, because of everything that happened, and I was still trying to get caught up on 2019. So 2020 is in the works, and I will probably do that the closer we get to the end of 2019. That way, in February of next year, I can do 2021 instead of still being a year behind. I don't like being a year behind. So with that being said, I've got all my, what I did, in January. We did one thing. We went, I flew to Florida. That's what I did in January. And so I wasn't home to take the photos, and sometimes my husband is not, cognizant of taking photos. Sometimes he is, sometimes he is not. If the kids are in school, then yes, they do, he's at work. So it's you know, we don't get photos. So I flew to Florida. So that's where I started. I stuck all those photos in one page protector. Then the next thing I did, in March, so February, I don't have any photos. So March, I ended up going to a retreat. That was fun. All of them went into a page protector. So I printed off all the photos. They went all into a page protector. So on and so forth, putting everything in a page protector. Then I pull everything out. I just try to make stopping points. That way I don't feel like I have to spend 2 weeks on the same thing. I'll get to it when I get to it, sort of thing, right? 15 minutes here, 15 minutes there, something like that. Whatever the time frame is for me or you or anybody to be able to do this, right? I grab one page protector. I don't take it out of a book. I don't mean I grab it literally and take it out. I grab the photos from this page protector, flip through them, and I make my decision. I know I've said this a million times, but it's a cutthroat decision, right? I don't sit there and ooh and ah over every single photo. I see that I've got multiple photos that are kind of the same, make my decision right then and there. Once I come to actually scrapbooking that, I'm never going to remember the photos I got rid of. I'm just going to love the ones I've already picked out. Okay, so that's that. With that being said, that's when I make my decisions on small page, little page, pocket page, all that good stuff, okay? Based off of what I want to keep and all that stuff. So here's a good example right here. Right here I have, let me scoot this over and see if I can't zoom out. There we go. So here I made a title page for flying to Florida. We always have to stop because of my town as being so tiny. We always have to stop at Salt Lake. And I love taking photos of going over the Ruby Mountains. It's just one of my favorite things to do because sometimes I get a better glance at, you know, the valleys and hills and whatnot and all that stuff. It's just so fun. So wanted to document that and all that stuff. And then I have a page protector or a pocket page protector of the flight. And some planes we get on are huge enough to where they have this display. Some aren't, but I took our display there and then I took our display back. So, nope, this is all going to. Sorry, I lied. I lied. Okay, so there is that. And then, of course, I didn't take a whole lot of photos of the reasoning why we were there because I was actually there for to take a class and then take a test, right? And determining whether or not I passed this test was whether or not I got to go on the retreat in March. And so all the girls were like pulling for me and all this stuff. So yes, I went there to take a test and basically get a better pay grade is what that was for. I'm not going to talk about every single one. This is the flight back right here. I just love taking pictures. My kids always talk about flying in the clouds. So got all that. Here is the retreat photos. So I've got 2 photos. This one in because I'm not sure if I have another photo. But again, this is kind of the same thing. I wanted all my friends, and so I chose to do a pocket page to have all the friends together. This is our messy desks. My roommate, love her. Okay, and then this would be the perfect spot right here, actually, to put this photo right here. Okay. Because I have the hostess and then I have really cool friends, right? So this would be the perfect spot, or switch my photo with this photo, which I think I might do that. And then I'm going to put, as soon as I order some, I will put a new page protector right here, and then I will start my history museum. It's NHM, which is Natural History Museum in Utah, and I will start this one. That way it is facing here, and I can put a title page to the History Museum right there to fill the gap if I don't have anything here that needs to be filled. Okay, so again, I have you know, lots and lots of dinosaur photos. They're my favorite ones. So of course I choose to use, this is my favorite arrangement for a pocket page, by the way. It's one of my favorites. Okay, and then I always try to include the map just in case. My favorite thing to do, again, one of my other favorite things to do is to see the change of how displays change and you know, what the maps and all that change. I love that. This one actually goes into here. So this one is not done. This side right here is not complete, and this goes right here as well. Okay, or I think it goes up there. Yes. Okay, let me double check and make sure that I'm not missing anything. Right there. Okay. Oh, I think that goes there. I see it now. Yes, okay. It goes right here. So these ones are not done. And this one actually goes inside here, but I've done the other side. So sometimes I only do the one side, and then I'll still need to do this side right here. Okay. And then I have another photo right here that is still being scrapbooked. And then right here, we are at the planetarium now. So there we go. There we go. I have a space elevator right here. Okay, which this one might actually need to change with this one right here, because this is us actually going into the planetarium. Okay. And then I took a map and spread it across 2 pages. Again, I keep all of this, all of the memorabilia, everything. I stick it all in there with the photos, everything. So that way when I'm getting ready to scrap, I don't have to go to somewhere else and scrapbook. So here, I did not want to lose, sorry, my white is like really chalky, and it just leaves a dusting when I splatter with white. And so once I'm done, I'm done. But I decided to do more of the giraffe. The giraffe is my favorite animal to go and look at the zoo, especially when you get to feed them and their tongues lick you and it's just gross and disgusting. So I went ahead and I made 2 cute little layouts that I would like to add to this album, and I need to put an 8x8 page protector. I already have an 8x6, and I've already done one side of the 8x6, haven't done the other side, and I have a pocket page, and this little 6x8 is kind of like the intro to this pocket page. Okay, so there is that. Let me get my 8x8. So I want to apologize that the rest of this will be in a voiceover, but it is in real time so you guys can see what it is that I am doing. I went and I got an 8x8 page protector, and the holes don't line up is what I'm showing you here. So what I do is I take washi tape, and I'm going to actually put tape on both sides of my page protector. Now, for those of you that are asking if the washi tape will hold up, I have been doing this for years. Pretty much basically when washi tape first started is when I started doing this, because I thought that it was the perfect tape that would stick and then not leave any residue if I ever chose to change it out, or, you know, if it did fall off or something. But it's never fallen off of a page protector that I have noticed, like ever. So basically, I have just now covered up the holes. I'm not even going to pay attention to the fact that one of them did line up, but I am going to pay attention to which side the opening, you know, if it's on the top or side loading, however you guys' page protectors are. This one's a top loading. And I'm going to take a 12x12 page protector and line up my page at the bottom of this protector. I
I don't even pay attention to where the original hole was that might have fit in this album, because of the fact that I don't want the page to be above or below the 12 by 12 page protectors. If they end up being above or below, then that is a risk that I'm taking of bending my page within that micro page protector. So I hope that makes sense. And I'm just taking a chronologiall. Now the chronologiall is a hair smaller than the holes that I am using, but I think that that's okay because it keeps it tight enough on the rings that it's loose enough to move back and forth over the rings, but tight enough to where it's not like warping the holes, if that makes sense. So my holes are nice and snug rather than really loose, so my pages aren't flopping around within the page or within the rings, and then possibly tearing out the holes, because I don't use hole reinforcers at all. So I'm just going to slide in these 2 page protectors. And one of the things that I do, so this one is a Stampin' Up! Page protector, and it's a little bit larger. It's actually like 8.5 by 8.5. So I think I'm going to take a piece of cardstock and glue both of these pages in the center of that. That way they're not flopping around inside. And I think what I'm also going to do is take that 6 by 8 page protector and move it up to the top 2 holes. That way I've got more of an interaction than just the pages next to each other. So I'm just flipping through and showing you guys all the different pages, and it's just single pages like this, or single photos like these right here, that I decide on whether or not they get their own 12 by 12 or just a little 6 by 6, especially when it comes to single pages. And then this page right here is actually going to be a 2-page spread that I started and then I had to pack up and go home. So I wasn't able to finish it, and it's still in the page. And then as I go along, I will be putting pages back in the albums that I'm flipping through. That was the whole point. I figured I'd show you guys my albums while I put my pages together, be productive at the same time. I also want to take this opportunity to let you guys know that scrapbook.com has all of their 3-ring albums on sale right now. They're exclusive scrapbook.com albums, so it's not all albums, period. It's just the scrapbook.com albums, as well as the scrapbook.com page protectors. And if you go over there, you can see all the different style page protectors that they offer, and the unique ones that I end up picking up to be in my in my albums. So I'm just going to go through my list one more time, make sure I didn't forget anything that I don't already have pulled out for another layout. These are just all the ones that have been finished and published and things like that. I do have other pages to put away that aren't published yet, but I only have room for the stack to get so big. So this is book 2. And I just wanted to go through it real quick and show you guys that I don't start with a cover page. So I start with just as if the album was to continue. So it's just like you picked up chapter 2 and you start off where chapter 1 left off. Here's a 2-page layout that I wanted more photos in, so I put an insert of a pocket page in there. This one is where my work photo goes. And then I also use my 8.5 by 11 page protectors for brochures, magazines. Like this is a list of like a year, like how it's not really a military base, it's actually an armory. And it's basically a list of what it's been through its whole existence. And so I wanted that list to kind of be like the cover page of when we got there, and then all the pages in between. Now here I am showing you how bulky the stack gets with all these photos just hanging out waiting for me to scrap. It is very chunky, but they stay in place. The photos have already been gone through. They've already been sorted. They're already in order of how I want them in my album. Now they just need to be scrapbooked. And I don't scrapbook in order. So anytime I get a mood and a feel of what it is that I want to, scrapbook, I'll flip through an album and go, oh, that looks great, and pull it out, and there it is. So I definitely, I like this opportunity because of the fact that my books are already set up Now I just need to do all the work to get them to look pretty. And when I do, this one right here, see, I'm just babbling now. When this one right here, I just stuck one flip flap in to let me know that I have a ton of photos that I would like to put. If it becomes too much, I will add a a pocket page protector in there. Here's an example of a book that I have. This is just kind of like one of those tourist books when you go to a place like Bodie. And so I wanted to remember it, and I stuck it in my album. It is pretty thick. It will definitely add bulk to my album. So this might end up being a 4-album year. But sometimes when I have multiples of something or a whole bunch of photos that I just don't want, to leave out because I like them, I will just fill up an entire pocket page with just photos and not leave any room for decorations or anything. And those types of things I really like, because then I just take a piece of cardstock, cut it down to pocket size, trim off the photos just a hair, glue them back to back on the photo or on the piece of cardstock, and then I'm done. I've said it before. The reason why I glue them in the pocket is because I don't like the shifting. And so I just think it's very uniform and looks good. Here's a page that I didn't realize I didn't use. So that might come in handy later, but I definitely will probably take it out and use it in book 1 where I'm missing a page. So just finishing up here, all the photos that are missing are photos that I already have an assignment for. So they're already pulled out and either they're scrapbooked already, but the video hasn't gone live, or they are waiting to be scrapbooked because of an assignment. So I did find my other 4x6 piece of paper that has from August all the way to December. It ended up in album 3. This is another brochure that I have here of a place called Safe Haven. And basically what it is people love to purchase exotic animals, but they don't know how to take care of them, or they can't afford a large enough area for them. Or the state ends up taking them because they're illegal to have unless you have a license, like a circus. And so anyways, they end up in a place like that, and they do tours and visits and things like that just for a donation. And so it was so fun. We love getting the flyers and whatnot. Anyways, oh my God, what am I doing? I am still flipping through this album. I just am doing a quick flip through so you guys can see, like this right here. I wanted to show the little emojis of my daughter and I having a conversation, but it doesn't warrant a 12x12 page. It really doesn't. But I wanted it to be big enough to where I could still, embellish it to be 8.5 by 11. It just all depends on what the subject matter is, on what size. But I do kind of sort of like to do my single photos as a smaller layout unless I have a story to tell. So that's kind of what determines, how many photos are going to go on a layout. Like this one here, I did a 2-page layout of us building gingerbread houses, but I had so many pictures and we had so much fun that I did a pocket page for each of my children. So the first 2 pockets were one was my son on one side and my other son on the other side, and then here's my son on one side and my daughter on the other side. And then of course I did a mini page because of the fact that husband stepped in, and it just a bunch of cute photos that I did not want to not have in my album. So it ended up being two pages, 2 pocket pages, and then a small one. So, and here's Christmas Day, us opening all the presents. Sometimes I just enjoy the embellishing portion of a layout instead of, the actual photo part of it. During Christmas time, I do enjoy having things stick up outside of my album, like twine and things like that. So, and then I do have 2 more pages because my daughter ended up coming a little later after Christmas. So I do have 2 more pages to do, and then I'm done. And I'm okay if the back page never gets filled. I am A-okay with that if I have a reason to fill it. I do, if I'm just feeling creative and want to do a like an ending page, no photos, I will do that as well. But that's pretty much it. There is a flip through of my album. Thank you all so much for those of you that requested this long video. I do enjoy showing you guys how my process works, and it makes it so much more enjoyable. Once all the albums are done and the work is done, it's nice to be able to flip through, pull out the photos that I'm in the mood to scrapbook, and then put them back once I'm done. Documentation is definitely the key, because if you pull out too many photos, especially within the same year, it's kind of hard to try to flip through and remember where they go. So that is why I do write down, I have this taken out of the album and it goes in this album, and it's this. So anyways, thank you again, and I will talk to you all later. Bye.